my journal. You can use the same size or even a different size. We have masking tape, and we are going to prep our little triangle. Try your best to place it in the center of your space on the paper. If it's not, it's, you know, it's gonna be beautiful the same, because remember that these are handmade things, right? So and then the last one for the bottom. You can make your tree as big and as small as you want. And now we're gonna proceed and paint with watercolors. This time we want the watercolors to be really, really watery, because we want some beautiful kind of blending and bleeding. And you can do any palette. I'm gonna do some blue and green, but you can do really multiple with different color palette, which is the best, right? Because you wanna make sure that if you're doing this is an amazing idea for handmade cards. So you can buy very nice small watercolor paper pad, and on each pad that you can make a different one of those trees with different color palettes, maybe thinking about the people that you're gonna give them to, right? So what are the colors that they love? What are the colors that you love? Sometimes we can control the water a little more, sometimes we can control the water a little less. We have this beautiful, nice bleeding. I'm gonna switch to a dark green without cleaning the brush too much. So we really kind of, you know, I'm gonna attempt sort of a little pattern. Back to a dark blue. Some water. You see, this is exactly what we want. You can leave some gaps. Have fun. Don't overthink it. I'm going back and forth from green to blues. I can do some pattern on top as well. Beautiful. Very, very nice. Let's try this one. Gonna mix a little bit of one of the blue that I did at the beginning. A little more intense, so I'm gonna scrub a little more on the color. Dip in the water. And then just water and blend it. And my final, go back to a green, maybe mixing together. A bit of water, pick some more green, gonna dark it up. Then I'm gonna use the same to tap some, you know, dots. They will blend and bleed completely. Over here, they will blend a little less because it's already drying up. And then I'm going to switch it to a very dark blue, this time with a little less water. And I attempt a pattern. Now we need to let this completely dry. So take a little break, let it dry, then tap it with your fingers before you do everything else on top. After you check that it's completely dry, then you can start to play with an extra fine black Sharpies or any brand, Posca markers if you want to add some white. If you don't have Posca markers, you can do a Zentangle without it. It's totally fine. And you can kind of follow some of the lines that the watercolors naturally trace for you. We don't want anything that looks too geometric or too perfect. We want to keep this type of whimsical style on our little trees. This is really a super, you know, easy, quick and relaxing idea. And if you do, as I say, on small pieces of watercolor paper, they will be a perfect tiny little gift. They could also be Christmas cards, you know, holiday cards. I love to make my own handmade cards, so follow all the video and the tutorials that I post about those. I give different options with markers, now with watercolors. Don't overthink the pattern, just go with the flow. Let the watercolor guide you. You can copy mine, of course, but you can do you, as I always invite you. So you create your personal styles and your personal connection with art. And this one, I really don't want to touch this because I really like it. I'm really barely touching the paper, so the mark that my Sharpie leaves is not perfect. I want that type of, you see, like a little sketchy, undone. My big favorite, the dots, and here, because I see some of the lines that I created with the brush, I'm gonna kind of keep doing it. I think I'm gonna gently add the line over here, and let's think about something. I'm gonna switch to my white Posca, and as I say, if you don't have a white Posca, or if you have another color, you can skip this passage or you can do it differently. You can even do this with a tiny little brush and some white acrylics. Of course, it's gonna take you longer, so you need to make some consideration, right, of how many of these cards would you like to, or, you know, so you know how much time and effort you would like to. I'm gonna add some nice dots between this beautiful, all blended and someone on top of this tiny little green spot, and I guess a few alternating these black lines, a few more. I do love dots, probably one of my big favorite. And when you think that you're all done, you're going to gently remove the tape. I know this tape is so good that sometimes you take a part of the paper with him. Beautiful. And now, if you want, you can leave your cards like that, or you can go back to the watercolors and create a beautiful dark, moody, or super light, whatever you feel like, type of background. Remember that we're using it a lot of water in this case, because once again, we wanted the colors to really blend and bleed to the paper. We want it to look really casual, natural, you know, not too detailed. So this is a different practice to the other ones that we did in the past with watercolor. I like to leave a little wide gap, and once again, this gap doesn't have to be geometrically perfect, on the contrary, right? Because we're gonna add some personality to the piece, so you can just have fun without overthinking. If you touch the tree, it's not big deal, it's all dry. I'm dipping the brush in the water before and after, so I have really very watery watercolor that I like and I want to use this time. If you want it like darker, just a little less water. And for the background, you can do the same. You can just make sure that it dries completely. And you can do some pattern on the background as well. Need to go back here at my masking tape. It was such a good quality, so buy a cheaper one so it doesn't attach that much on the paper. And then now it's still translucent. You're gonna let it dry again, and then we can do some final details on the background. Okay, we test it again. It looks more or less all dry, and then just with my white Sharpie, I'm doing some tiny little dots. In some area, these dots will bleed a little bit, which is perfect because, as I say, this is a very casual, whimsical design. We don't want to have any things that is too clean, too perfect. Dots, put as many as you want. Don't worry about the distances between them. Actually, some of them looks closer and some of them looks farther apart. It's actually even better, right? Just lose it up, have fun. And look how pretty is this. Maybe if you want to add the star on the top, you can also do that. Sometimes with the black Posca, after it dries, we need to go back over, but it's pretty much it, and I really love it. Okay, friends, we did it, and I hope that you really enjoy this very simple practice with watercolors. This is the Christmas tree, my version. I really look forward to hear from you and know how it went. And please remember, join the Facebook group Art with Ms.B so you can post the picture of your beautiful Christmas tree. This is a wonderful idea, not only to practice in your own journal, but also, as I say in the description box, it's a wonderful idea to make a very easy cards that you can share with the special people. That is always something so special in receiving and handmade and handwritten cards. And I know that life is busy, but this is why we treasure art and art practices, because they push us to spend some extra time and therefore extra care for something that we enjoy and we love, but also that we can share with people that we love and make them feel really, really special. It's something very unique. So please subscribe to my channel, share my videos, ask if you have any question in the comment, and I do my best to answer to you. Join our Facebook page, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, and we see you very soon. Ciao a tutti!